Hello and welcome to an informative video on how to feed your guests at your wedding. So there's 4 things you've got to think about when feeding your guests. What you want to eat, when you want to eat it, what your venue is, and how much you want to pay for it. Everyone's got a budget. It's good to see if you can just be honest about that with your caterer as to how much you've got to spend. Where is it going to be? Is it going to be in a stately home? Is it going to be in Ibiza? Or is it going to be in a teepee? Is it going to be at your house? We need to know about all these things to make a reasonably good decision about how and what you're going to eat. When is it going to be served? Is it going to be in the daytime? Is it going to be in August? Think about the month as well as the time in the day. Realistically, stew and dumplings doesn't go down so well on a heat wave in July. So maybe something more like a shredded meat and salads works better. They're the 4 points we need to consider initially. So there are six different styles or ways of serving your guests. Number 1, a plated meal. This is obviously the way that everyone and their dog has had it done in the past, and there's nothing wrong with it. You get the chefs in the kitchen, you write a menu, you do the caterer what you want to eat, and there you go, you have a nice plated starter, a main course and dessert. Traditionally 3 courses, you can indeed slip in intermediary courses such as sorbet or like a shot glass or something to cleanse your palate, or even like a small appetizer at the start of your meal. Traditionally, it's a really wonderful way to feed your guests. Everyone eats the same, less the dietary requirements, and all flows fluidly. Everyone's sat down around the table, so it feels very formal. And it's a very traditional way. There's no doubt about it. It's a traditional way, but it's absolutely delicious, provided you've got talented people cooking it for you. The second way you can do it is a buffet. Now, a buffet has its merits, but it doesn't excite me so much. Mainly because it's nothing about the food, it's just the way that your guests will go and get the food. Do you really want people queuing up for your meal? The thing you always need to be careful about is the things you're going to have on the buffet. Now, if you're going to have saucy things that might spill down you, other things that are going to be super hot, or the opposite, things that aren't quite right. If you have heaps of salad that's out for an hour when it's red hot, is that really going to work? I would say maximum people to feed on a buffet is 60 people. Timely, you can get through them in 10-15 minutes. I think that, and that's when it's served to guests. Something to add on about the buffets style is the cultural differences. I know that a lot of Indian weddings, for example, have a buffet, and that is cool, and they do it. But also, they don't bombard the buffet. Everyone doesn't just go buffet time. It's more a grazing thing for them. They eat over a long period of time. People come and go, and the food's always available. At a Western wedding, generally people, the bell rings that it's dinner time and everyone's up and out, so suddenly you've got 100 people at the buffet. So it's definitely based on cultural differences. I know that a lot of the European guests or styles of wedding is a lot more relaxed and all about the eating. But just consider all these things when you choose. So that's number 2, buffet style. Number 3, the rise of the street food. Street food's really cool. I love it. I love its informality. I love its variety. It does have its time and place. I definitely wouldn't have it in a grand formal house. It's definitely for a bit more of a relaxed outdoor wedding venue. Don't have too many choices. Keep it to 3, I think, is really the maximum there. Especially if you're getting, and this is a costly, budgety sort of vibe, but if you get 3 guys coming with the horse trailer or their cool converted vans or whatever they may have, or their gazebo, they're all going to want paying, and they're all going to want paying very well because they're not getting the money at a festival or wherever they might be instead. So you may well actually end up costing you more than regular catering, even though you think it might be cheaper. It's definitely worth investing some time and do some research as to how much they want paying and how many portions they're going to serve as well. As a greedy man, I would definitely want to try at least 2 of the 3. Let's say you've got 100 guests for easy maths. Each of those guys are going to have to do 100 portions each, so that's 300 portions. Maybe just have a good research into how much they think you need as well. This is my advice, how much they think you need. On top of that, the options available, definitely have like the traditional one in some way, a fish and chips or a pizza, something that people recognise and are quite happy to eat. going for something like a okonomiyaki or something like a Japanese street food is maybe a little bit like, well, we'll run like that. I always say, to be honest, to please yourself, but when there's something like that, it's maybe make sure that Granny can definitely have her fish and chips. The other two, maybe go spicy, maybe go a bit avant-garde, a little bit woo-woo, but one of them, definitely keep it proper trad. Pie and mash, fish and chips, pizza, things like that. So that's number 3. Okay, number 4, my favourite, sharing style, family style. I think this is the way to go with wedding catering, to be honest. You know, over half of our weddings are on the sharing style. People love the relaxed environment where it's not so fussy, that people aren't, you know, serving you whilst you know, with a white cloth over their arm, like some grey poupons. Like, it's just not like that with us. People are a bit more relaxed, and the style of service is far more relaxed. We bring heaps of delicious food to the table, so it's similar to a buffet, except it's a table buffet. It's family shared. It's like you would have on Christmas Day, or shared barbecue sort of style, where everything just goes in the middle of the table and everyone mucks in. Generally shared between 8 to 6 people, or 6 to 8 people, and everyone has an abundance, as much or as little food as they like. Different things that could be served on a sharing style menu are things like pies, or, you know, a nice roast dinner for a more traditional way, but still, you know, doing it in a slightly modern fashion. Also things like Middle Eastern food, Italian food. You know, if you take a theme and run with it, that is really cool. You can have a massive spreads. Italian can have beautiful arancini, like a nice sort of herb and garlic roasted beefs, and beautiful salads and breads and cured hams and cheeses, and fill the table. And actually, it will become part of the decoration, all the food. That's just it just look delicious, and that will be the decoration for your table. So that's another key. Make sure that your decorations, if you're having a sharing style meal, your decorations aren't too full on. You know, small things, elegant things are really great. Remember, there's lots of plates on top of the plate they're going to eat off on the table, so you can't have much else. But there'll be a video of that to follow soon. Number 5, bowls. I really love bowls. Bowl food style is really cool. Smaller portions, prettily presented. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry had that at their wedding. There was no pictures. I couldn't find any pictures of what they had. But they had very traditional things done beautifully. There's some cool stuff we can do with that. Pretty much anything you can think of, we can do in a bowl food format or a miniature format. So it doesn't even have to be bowls per se. Fish and chip cones, slider buns, sloppy dogs, nachos. All these things can be done in a bowl food style. Obviously, then you've got things like curry, Thai curry, chili con carne, mac cheese, meatballs, Persian couscous. The dishes go on and on and on, and there's heaps of choice. And that's really cool, because you can have lots of different choices. And by the end of it, your guests are going to be so full, contentedly full. It's a great way if you're having a wedding where there's maybe limited seating, or maybe you don't want people to sit down. Maybe you just want it to be a real good fun, having lots of drinks. It works really well with cocktails as well. Be mindful to maybe have a few places where people can perch, or, you know, put the glass down so they can enjoy the bowl will go down, drink will obviously go back in the hand, and have fun. With this one, you can definitely really show off like all the different styles of food that you love to eat, and put it into miniature form, and a maximum of 5 bowls as well in every event. So that's number 5, bowl foods. And number 6, cake and canapes. This is a new one on me, but I like the idea. If you really have got a very informal event, you don't want the party to go on till late, you know, you are just literally having a beautiful ceremony, a nice little drinks reception afterwards, and closing the door at 7 PM, whatever it might be. I think cake and canapes is a really nice way of doing that. You probably will want a cake. Everyone really wants a cake. Most people want a cake. So have that as your ceremonial cutting as soon as you get back to your venue. Cut that up and have sweet and savoury together. So a bit of cake coming around the room is really nice. Everyone gets to eat it, it doesn't go to waste, which is such a shame to see. And a few canapes as well, you know, maybe 6 or 7 canapes mingled between it all. During a drinks reception, a couple of speeches, a couple of thank yous, maybe first dance if you wished. Drift off down the river on a boat. Sounds magic, doesn't it? That could be what we could do that. It's a nice, cute way of doing something but not too much. So there's number 6, cake and canapes. So that's the 6 ways that I feel you could feed your guests at your wedding. I'm sure there's more, there definitely is more. They're the ones we can focus on today. And remember those 4 points at the start. When you're going to eat it, what you're going to eat, where you're going to eat it, and how much you want to spend. I'll see you next time for another informative video from Thomas the Caterer.